Alright, good morning people of YouTube. So we are back again today with probably one of the decks that I was the most excited about going into BT5. Still very excited to be testing out this deck and trying out new changes and, fine-tuning it as we go along. But I wanted to bring you the build that I had right now, because this deck has already gone through a lot of edits leading up to this process, and I think this is a deck that you can customize and do a lot of just super neat things with. Like, this deck has so many options. There's so many different choices, like as far as tech cards that you can play in the deck, and those definitely make or break this deck in a tournament setting and performance. But yeah, I think this is a deck that could go all the way. This is going to be Garurumon Tribal. I honestly think this deck is as fast as certain decks in the meta, like Lordknightmon, Green Raffle Simon, and it definitely is faster than Diaboromon. But if it's faster than Diaboromon, I bet it can keep up with the other top decks in the format as well. I've had some testing with it against those decks, and it's been pretty even so far, but I would definitely like more testing against those decks before I tell you definitively how this deck does in those matchups. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into the deck profile. Again, I've had pretty even matchups against everything in the format so far that I've gone up against, except Purple, where this deck just absolutely beats Purple, and Diaboromon, where it just wrecks Diaboromon. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into some of the card choices. I got 4 copies of Upamon. This is your most important egg. Will be for a little bit. My 5th egg is going to be a copy of Bukamon to add to the source removal aspect of this deck. Honestly, this egg could be like the Pseudomon from BT5 as well, to give more power to your Garurumons. But I felt like source removal is pivotal to the consistency of this deck. So we're going to go ahead and get into the Tamers before I get into the Digimon, because I feel like that's what's going to make this deck make the most sense. So starting off, I play 2 copies of Davis. He sets you to 3 and can scry the top cards of your deck and get you something nice, which is always good. And then we got 2 copies of Sora and Joe. So there is a source removal aspect to this deck, and it does allow you to make some very powerful plays. Like, you are always ensuring that you're getting draws off Upamon, because they're always going to have a Digimon without sources. Sora and Joe makes it so that way whenever you attack, you can suspend this card and then strip 2 more sources, and then if your opponent doesn't have a card, or if your opponent has a card in play at the beginning of your turn with no sources, then you gain 2 memory. So if you have a Davis and 2 Sora and Joes out, then you start your turn with 7, which is absolutely absurd. And you're playing a lot of Tamers, so a lot of these, you run a high chance that some of these are going to get triggered in security, so you don't even have to activate all of them, which is just nice. You can also evolve on top of these with your Lobomon, and it's just good. And then we got 3 copies of Nokia. So Nokia lets you play all your Gabumons for free, and it lets you reduce the cost of evolving into your Garurumon. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you can use this to make the promo Lobomon go into Ancient Garurumon for absolutely 0 memory, which is nuts. You go straight from a 4 to a 6. If you have 2 of these out and you go into the new BT5 Garurumon, you can suspend both of them, make that Digivolution cost 0, and then gain 1 memory off of the effect, so you're actually netting positive off of Digivolving, which is really nice. And if these get hit in security, then you get to play a Gabumon from your hand still. So it's really good. We play 7 Tamers in the deck, and I feel like they're all super important. So going on to the rookies, you're going to see a lot of Gabumons here, because we can play them for free off of Nokia. We got 4 of this Gabumon, which lets you draw a card. We got 4 of this Gabumon, which lets you search the top couple cards for a Garurumon or an Omnimon. We got 2 copies of this Gabumon, which is when attacking, remove a source as an inheritable effect, which is nice. If you have this with the Sora and Joe, you can remove a source from a level 5 or lower, and then 2 sources from anything. which oftentimes will make sure that the Sora and Joe just triggers for your next turn just right then and there. We have 2 copies of the promo Gabumon. This is one of the first cards we ever got in the game. It says, trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon on play. So Nokia doesn't negate on play skills, so you will get this. And one thing that I found out that's super important is in the black matchup, or Security Zoo, or any deck that's playing Ultimate Flare, Ultimate Flare deletes cards that have a play cost of 3 or less, so this card gets around it. So if you have this card at the bottom of one of your stacks, and they try to de-digivolve it and nuke your board, then you will still get to keep this, and you'll have enough memory to go up on top of this and make a swift counterattack. So I absolutely love this Gabumon. I might consider playing 3 of it, depending on how much play Ultimate Flare sees. But yeah, those are the 12 Gabumons that we have in our rookie lineup. We have 2 more rookies. I have 1 copy of Syakomon. I think that's what we're going with. Little clam boy. It's pretty cute. And then we got a copy of Elecmon. So, green in the past has been a pretty bad matchup for blue. And I would stand to reason that logic still holds true today. Syakomon really helps with that matchup. Little Clam Boy makes it so they can't download, they can't activate HPD, and there's just a bunch of cards this stops. This stops Fuse into the Ultimate Digimon, it stops Infamon from going into Diaboromon for 2, this card's just really nice. It stops Nokia from reducing cost in the mirror match, so depending on how important evolution cost reduction becomes this meta, I would bump this card up to 2. If evolution cost reduction doesn't become important at all, I would take this out and play a second 2-cost vanilla. So I'm playing 1 of each right now because it's still early meta. That is the only reason. If I was going to a tournament, I would ultimately make a decision to play 2 copies of one or the other. I just don't know which one I'm leaning towards yet, so I wanted to give you guys, the people, the options to play both. But we will have some more cards that I was considering at the end of the list, because again, this deck does still need some testing. It is very, very solid and has a lot of powerful plays, but I think the ceiling on this deck could still be improved. On to the level 4s. All of these cards are amazing. I got 2 copies of Koalamon. It's your 1-cost blocker. I got 4 copies of Garurumon. This card is cheap to evolve into, and it gives you an inheritable effect to make your Garurumons and Omnimons bigger on all turns, which is always nice. I got 4 copies of the Promo Lobomon, which warps into Ancient Garurumon for a swift surprise attack, and if you evolve on top of them, then you can reduce that cost even further. So, again, more cost reduction in the evolutions, but it's super powerful. This deck can get up to a level 6 with just like 1 memory, and it's insane. We got 2 copies of Lobomon. It's your surprise attack, win the game, and it's just a good card. I feel like every blue deck has to play at least 2. I wish I had room for more copies, but this Lobomon is important to play 4 of, this Garurumon is important to play 4 of, and I feel like the Koalamon and this Lobomon are the only like flex spots, and both of them are also super important. So those are my 12 level 4s, and I don't think I'd change any of them right now. On to the level 5s. I got 3 copies of the Where Garurumon that says if they don't have any sources, you get security attack +1. This card is absurd, especially with the Sora and Joe, and you can reduce the cost going into this with Nokia, so absolutely love it. I play 3 copies of Sagittarius mode. This card honestly acts as like a mini-boss, but it also just makes all of your level 6s so much better. Because if you evolve on top of this, then the Metal Garurumon from BT1 is now 12k on all turns. It makes the Ancient Garurumon a 14. It's just an absolutely amazing card. You can evolve this on top of the Where Garurumon for 1, and then just have a 8k Jammer that has security attack +1 for free. So, I absolutely love it. I don't think I might consider going up to 4 of this card, but I also would consider going up to 4 copies of Garurumon as well. The last level 5 that we were playing is going to be a Shikuamon. This card acts as like Hexablaumon in the current meta, but with all the source removal that you have, this card can kind of close out certain matchups, and if you're lacking certain combo pieces, this card can help slow the game state down until you get them. Again, you're playing blue, so you're drawing a lot of cards, so it shouldn't take you long to get where you need to go at all. But in the instances that you can't get there, there's a Shikuamon. And this card also helps make comebacks happen. If you are in a position where your board gets wiped by like a Needhog or something, you can evolve up into this and then just kind of sit there and wait until you get your pieces to get back in the game. So I do like the Shikuamon. I think I'd only play 1 though. On to the level 6s. It's a pretty short lineup. We play 4 Ancient Garurumon because it's still the most powerful Garurumon we have access to. You can warp into it for 1 with the Lobo, and if the Nokia thing works, then you can go this on top of Lobo for free. And even if you can't do that, you know, still, if you start your turn with a 3 memory off of Davis, or they leave you at 1 and they have something in play with that's accessible with Sora and Joe, then you're going to go up to 3 memory anyway. You promote your rookie from the raising area, you go into this for 2, you go into this for 1, and you get your double swing, and it's just amazing. And then this will die at the end of the turn, and then play another one of these from your hand so you can do it again on the following turn. So, I absolutely love Ancient Garurumon. It's just an amazing card, and it will continue to be the bread and butter for Garurumon decks until we get probably the Gabumon Bond of Friendship, and even then, I still think you should be playing Bond of Friendship and this card in the same deck. So, that's my opinion. I have 1 copy of this Metal Garurumon. I'm testing it out. It's pulling its weight so far. That's what I'm going to say about it. It's good. It can help flood your board, especially if you have to evolve like the Lobomon into a level 5 and then go into this. You can use this to pull the Lobomon out, and then on the following turn just evolve the Lobo into an Ancient Garuru, and then double swing with this and this, which is absolutely absurd. It's another Garurumon in name, which is why we play it mostly. And it does help provide your aggression, and this is a very aggressive deck. I am playing a single copy of Hexablaumon as well. I'd honestly consider going up to 2. It's just a good card. It can help stop certain matchups dead in their tracks, and it's just amazing for that purpose. Onto the level 7s, I am playing a single copy of the Blitz Omnimon. I was playing 2 of this. I cut it to 1 because warping on top, or going on top of the Ancient Garuru and getting an extra swing with this does come up. But if you're dying at the end of the turn anyway, then it's not as important as you might think. I was also playing Fuse into the Ultimate Digimon, or Mega Digimon Fusion, this card, so that you could, for like 1 memory, go from Lobo to Ancient Garuru and still go into Omni, and then just swing for 4 of their security in 1 go. But it was inconsistent, and so I decided to take the deck in a more consistent route because the deck was already powerful enough. So I do like the 1 of Omnimon. I don't think I'd cut it, but I don't know if I'd go back up to 2. And that's how I feel about that. The last 3 cards in the deck, 2 of them are Hammer Spark. 1 of them is Supreme Cannon. I wanted to test this card out. This is a mistake. This card is really only good against Diaboromon, and you kind of already win that matchup anyway. So don't play this card. Just play another copy of Hammer Spark. Or play like Absolute Blast or something. This card is fun. So you could play this. You could play this. I would just play another copy of Hammer Spark because it's really good. Yeah, that's the deck, guys. I'm going to go over a couple tech cards that I didn't end up playing. Again, we have Mega Digimon Fusion. Was in the deck. Didn't do enough. Consistently enough, so we didn't play it. Absolute Blast is really good. You just trash the bottom Digivolution card of something, and then you return something without Digivolution cards to the bottom of the owner's deck, which is nuts. It's spot removal, and you're already removing a bunch of sources. So I would definitely consider playing that. I've heard a lot of players say that this card is underwhelming, though, so I don't know. We'll test it and see. We got the Sunomon. If you don't like Bukamon as your 5th egg, play this card. It gives you more power. I didn't have trouble with power, so I played Bukamon instead. But you could definitely make the choice to play this card. If you don't like Syakomon and a level or a 2-cost vanilla, you could play the Jamming Vmon. I didn't feel this deck needed it, and I find that surprising to say. You could play this Vmon as well, the one when you say when you unsuspend, you draw a card. This combos really well with Ancient Garuru, and can help you draw more cards to get your follow-up plays for next turn. This is a card I would actually heavily consider playing. If Syakomon doesn't end up pulling its weight, I might cut him and the Elecmon for 2 copies of this. But, again, we're playing blue and we already have a lot of draw power, so I'll let you know if I decide to make that decision. We have a copy of Aqua Viper here. This is an amazing card. I would gladly play it over the Supreme Cannon, actually. I don't know if it would be better than a 3rd Hammer Spark or not, but in this deck you could bounce like a Gabumon, return 2 of their level 4s to their hand, and then play the Gabumon again off of a Nokia or something, so this is just nice. I do think that this card will clutch you out games if you decide to play it. We have Zed Garurumon. If you don't like Metal Garurumon from BT1, play this card. This card's spot removal, and it's big. Getting 2 attacks off with a 12k body with the Ancient Garurumon unsuspending it is really nice, and will put you in a lot of positions where you can just clutch out games. Already talked about it, but there's a 3rd Hammer Spark here. I think this is the choice to play over the Supreme Cannon. The last card I want to talk about is I'll drag you down into the depths, or I'll drag you into the depths. It says, all of your Digimon gain your turn when attacking an opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. Delete that Digimon for the turn. Delete that Digimon, end quotes, and then it says for the turn. You can't really delete something for the turn, because it dies. But, if you played Yu-Gi-Oh!, this gives you sort of an Ally of Justice Catastor effect, where you start the attack, and then the attack doesn't finish because they die before battle. So even if you're swinging like the 1k Gabumon into a Omnimon, if it has no sources, your Gabumon will live and their Omnimon will die. So this is kind of nice to counter clear boards. If you're playing it against a deck that likes to swing out and you can match their aggression, you can play this card. I don't think it's consistent enough. So that's my thoughts on the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys are playing in your Garurumon deck down in the comments below. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.